Right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we apologise possibly if it's difficult for you to hear everything, because once the tractors are started, we have to leave them running. So we'll wander a bit more. We'll come and speak to the gentleman here who's sat back on the settee. He can tell us all about his tractor. We'll let him do it. He knows more about it than me. So away you go, sir.
It's a 1954 Farmall Super FCC, which is a French-built copy of the American Farmall Super C. 2-litre petrol engine. We found her on Anglesey on the seaside. It's been used to transport the family down the beach to go and see the mother-in-law. So how often that happened, I'm not sure. But brought her home 3 years ago. Stripped her right down, shot blasted, sprayed, put back together, and we've been showing out now for the last couple of years around all the local shows.
And tell us, what sort of cost does a tractor like this start off at, and how much would you spend on restoring such an item?
Couldn't possibly tell you that, the wife sat next to me.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, the wife sat next to him, he didn't let it on. So that's very honest. The good thing is they're both smiling, so it's a good job the ladies don't know everything. Mind you, as gentlemen, we all know that the item of clothing in the wardrobe, it's been there for years. You check the wardrobe, yeah, they always indulge themselves. Right, let's see what else we've got here. Gentleman with an old Fordson. What year is this, sir? 1923, right, we'll let him tell us a little bit about his Fordson. And what you might notice here, no exhaust on the top here, so he can tell you a little bit about it.
Dated 1923 in Detroit, USA. I had it, hedgerow condition. We managed to get it going, and this last year we've actually got it going on its tremblers, adding one of it.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we apologise if it's a little difficult to hear, but once the tractors are started, because of the TVO, they can't switch them off and start them again, you see, there's a process involved. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll ask these people to speak up here. They're sitting here with their vehicles, so they obviously want to tell us about it. This gentleman here, sir, you can tell us a little bit about your Fergie, if you'd be good enough. I thought he was asleep. There you go, oh, he's written it down for me. So it's a 1953 grey Fergie, still used for cleaning the banks on the River Dee in the Llangollen area. There you go, when you say cleaning in the banks, what is it that you do on the banks?
Yeah, well, a lot of clearing and the stuff weed and all that, you know. It's for I've got the fishing club and I clear all the banks for them and all that.
Right, yeah, and he's got the box on the back. Some of you may or may not be familiar with the fact that that was the way the churns would be taken and put on the stand ready for collection. I doubt if we get next to that one over there, it's going to make a little bit too much noise, so perhaps you come round this side, sir, and tell us about your vehicle.
It's a real Marshall, 1947. I found it at a scrapyard in the year 2000. I've spent very little on it, and I've done nothing for the engine. It goes a tree. Shown it as found.
There you go, did you get that? Shown as found. He found it in a scrapyard, and it's run from day one, so that's marvellous, isn't it, to see something like that? I think he's probably spent a little bit on tyres. I thought the tyres would be rotten, so you've had new tyres, yeah. What sort of horsepower is that vehicle? What sort of horsepower? 43 horsepower, so it'll pull a bit, definitely will. We've a very relaxed young man here, sitting. You could tell us a little bit about your Fergie, sir.
It's 35, and it's shown on behalf of my dad. He's sitting over there at the moment. But I was supposed to show a TA20, but the other night I was in a problem with the tyre blew out when I was pumping it up, so this is coming to do.
Well, we thank you for taking the trouble. And is this a 3 or 4 cylinder?
Cylinder.
The 3 cylinders, something that if you're not involved in the farming community, you might not be aware of how many of them were 3 cylinder. And if they are 3 cylinder, they're the ones that are worth the money. Especially if you can find a French one as well, I believe, isn't it? Right, we've got a young man here. He'll do all the talking, he'll be confident. Hey, what's this one then? This is James Walters of St Martin's. Is this you? Yeah, this is your tractor. 1961, Mark 1 Massey 65, and you've owned it for a year. So you're new to all of this, yeah? You're new to all of this, are you?
Yeah.
Well, we'll hope that you're going to come and join the society and show for many years. Thank you very much. Right. Fortune with a handle on the front. It looks as if he's not going to do any talking to us. It's an E27N, bought in October 2016, in running condition from from the US, sorry. Oh, us, he's going to put us in capitals and written everything else. I do apologise, sir. 1947 with a new era, number 4 Swedro. And it's come from Oswestry near Shrewsbury. So in marvellous condition as well. Yeah, and the size of things is so much different to what we see nowadays, isn't it? Now this is the way to be, chilled out with a Super Dexter. And this gentleman's Dexter is a 1963 New Performance Super Dexter. Found it in a hedge in 2007. That might have been me after a night out. We were very often in the hedges. The engine ran well, put it to work ploughing, checked for leaks and faults, did all the repair work, had it converted to 4-wheel drive, stripped down and resprayed, all work done by the owner, Phil Roden. And is that you, sir? It is indeed, it's his vehicle, and it's marvellous too. And obviously, ladies and gentlemen, you can see with this tractor the start of the bigger wheel on the front. Now we're so familiar with large wheels on the front of tractors, but originally they were only used for steering. Right, and he tells me that hopefully next year he might be bringing 2. Last weekend he bought a major, a super major, and he's hoping to pair it and bring it for us next year. So we thank you for taking the trouble. Right, our littlest tractor, I think. There we go. I could do with one of these actually. I've been looking at these on the internet and they sell very well, don't they? Right, this is a 1980 Ford 1100 compact tractor built for rice combining. Built in scrap condition, in boxes. The engine had blown up. There were no parts available, but managed to match parts to diesel Renault parts and had parts machined to match it. Has a 700cc engine and a 10-speed gearbox and a 3-point linkage of PTO. So believe it or not, this little chap can do whatever our biggest tractor over there can do. They knew what they were doing. Built in Japan as well, by New Holland. So there you go, this sharing of technology and cross manufacture. It's been going on for many, many years. Now then, we better have a word with somebody who's got a Daisy, a David Brown, and obviously one of some years. Okay, so this is a David Brown VAC 1A. This model was made between the VAC 1 and the very popular VAC 1C for a period of only 2 years, during the period 1945 to 1947, when only 3,500 were produced, making it the rarest of the David Brown two-seater tractors. This example was purchased from Huddersfield, a short distance from the factory where it was made, and the present owner is Mr. Oswestry of Hollywood. Thank you very much, sir. And yes, it is a two-seater, but I think for two smaller chaps, not two big chaps like me and Bernie. We're too big in the beam. Right, there's a gentleman here, he's keen to tell us about his Fergie. There we go. 1948 Fergie, TVO petrol, rebuilt over 2 years. And this gentleman, he said he drove one of these when he was 7 years old. So they've probably been together for a long time. And what's reminiscent for me as a young child, always used to have to go and get a Hessian sack out of the meal store to put on the seat because it was metal, and by God was it cold, and of course you'd always forget to move it the day it rained. No doubt you had the same memories, sir. Thank you very much. That's it. And a gentleman here with an International. Something that you can always tell with the International, they're very long in the bonnet. And he can tell us a little bit more about it.
1974, brand new. We've been the same family all its life. We've done it up for the last 2 years. New engine, tyres, clutch, brakes, and hopefully we'll keep it for the next 10, 15 years.
Yes indeed, and thank you very much for bringing it in as well today, in marvellous condition. There's obviously, for those of you who are really into the vintage, some people prefer to have their vehicles like this, and then there's the old school who like to see them as they were, as this gentleman here in the Fergie is pointing, where you've got the oil and grease, and it's in day-to-day running order. So it just depends which school you come from.